Well, uh, good evening, everyone, and well, I don't
Well,
really know how
well,
to.
it's an evening.
Yep.
It's an evening. Honestly,
I guess. Do we need to explain what we're talking about for posterity? I think so. Whoever's watching live now, obviously, is very likely aware that Charlie Kirk was murdered today in cold blood, and in front of thousands of witnesses. And the video is spread all over social media. Please, if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, I would recommend staying away from social media. I had the misfortune of watching, and it's not something I would like to see again. And if you're
Yeah, that
sensitive,
video is brutal.
you don't want to see it.
yeah, same here. Unfortunately,
And it's not just any person in the news, Sam. It's Charlie Kirk, a
yeah,
person we've talked about at length on the show, a person you've had encounters with, a person many of our friends loved as
and
a
and
friend.
new and new per, and new personally
Yeah,
too. I uh, I actually I'm getting so many texts and direct messages as we speak. Uh, Honestly, like part of me was tempted to, not do the show, but
we
out
talked
of
about it. We definitely had that conversation, and I said if you didn't feel up to it, you shouldn't. And you said you had some stuff to say.
yeah. I mean, look, I lots of people know that I'm a writer, and that's true. But I'm also a speaker, and honestly, as I said on Monday's show, which I did a solo show. Podcasting has always been somewhat therapeutic for me just to, vent sometimes too. So
I
um,
think we could all use a little therapy tonight.
Absolutely.
that's why we're here. We're gonna have a couple people, join us on stream, and I honestly don't know what tonight's evening is going to be. We really have no plan, but I do want to speak just kind of off the top of my head.
I think that's the best thing is you should say a few words to begin us out
Yeah,
because you had a long history with TPUSA and with Charlie and all that, and um,
yeah.
just love to hear your thoughts, Sam. It's your show.
Well, I only met Charlie once via uh, like a Skype call or something back in 2013. I was still in high school at the time and or getting ready to graduate, and someone I can't remember who it was messaged me and told me about Turning Point, and
Which you guys are very similar age, so this would have been the earliest incarnation
yeah,
of it, and he would have been in his early 20s at latest.
yeah. I think he was like I was 18, so I think he was like 20 at the time.
So yeah, I mean this is
Um,
a long history.
and he called me, or no, we talked on like a Skype call, and basically he kind of gave me the pitch, you know, about Turning Point, and asked me to join, and I did contribute like one or two articles in the very early days, just as like a columnist, but ultimately, I took a gap year between high school and college, and moved to Florida, and then when I started school, suffice to say, I just never had the time to really.
Well, let's be real, Sam. You know, as a disabled guy doing college full time, you time would have been very limited to, in addition, add in another extracurricular.
Yeah, and so it wasn't that I was interested. I just never had the time. But
But
like I
many in
always,
your circle not only were a part of it, but like actually joined TPUSA. That's why I say there's so many
yeah,
connections in our circle. First of all, a lot of people are talking about his widow and his two small children, and my God, does my heart go out to them. But I want to talk for a moment. You guys got to understand all the people at TPUSA who have been there with him for the last 15 years, at least. Who looked at him like an older brother or a father figure or a pastor, and he guided young men's hearts, minds, and souls into adulthood for a very long time and touched so many lives. The impact of his loss is immeasurable.
truly. Um, and I have friends who, some of them have stayed with TPUSA. I have other close friends who left TPUSA and were actually, unfortunately they went to the left. But even some of them reached out to me today, and they're in mourning, and just a lot of
Well, because it still touched them for a time, and they understand he was a person, a real person.
yeah. And
That's
so,
I think this demonization we see all the time gives people the ability to turn off that that's a human being, but we can't do that. That's
yeah.
this is
You know the
you know?
Yeah, the other thing that's really hard is just the fact that he and I were so close in the same age. Like I'm not old by any stretch of the imagination. Like even and this is something that like as much as I hate to say it, but like my mother has always, part of her is very proud of what I've done, but part of her has always been very nervous because she knows how insane the left is, and you know and so what if this were me. I try and be very safe, but and I'm a nobody, but in the scheme of things. But I mean, just
And the answer is it shouldn't be this way. That's the answer.
no, it shouldn't. And it's just fuck. I just a lot of emotions. I was excited, Max, because I had news to share about a new book that I am
And it just
releasing. Like I had good. Yeah, I actually had like you know funny news and whatnot, and instead this shit happens.
well,
It's
keep it in the
it's
chamber.
fucking
We're coming back to comedy next week, one way or another, because we don't fucking run.
yeah.
And it's like you said, like you're right. There is a level of like my wife said to me today, I just thought, what if it were you? And there is some truth to that. But that's exactly the point of fucking terrorism, Sam, is to make us afraid to speak. And I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's not what
Yeah.
this
That well.
is about. That's not what I'm about. And that's not what Charlie Kirk was about. He walked right into their den and said, let's talk. And that's all he ever did was talk.
That's the really like
That's the thing that Chef's my.
that is
All the man did was talk.
that is
Why?
both that is both the beauty of Charlie Kirk and also the tragedy of why his loss was so profound. I was talking to friend of mine and friend of the show, Karina Harney, and she was we were both talking about what is the pitiful state of free speech in this country. Her former boss, Hugh Hefner, was a free speech absolutist. And she said, and I think she's absolutely right, and some others in her circles have reached out to me, that the old school liberal that Hef would have been, that left the old school liberal, they're gone now.
They're Trump voters.
They're either gone or with us on the right.
Yeah, they're Trump voters, or they lost that and just decided to virtue signal into wokeness. It's one or the other.
No, I'm the 90s liberal.
Yeah.
The 90s liberal are independent Trump voters, or they went full woke. There's none left.
Facts.
Which is a fucking shame, but today really showed me that that's where we're at in this country.
Well, I, for one, refuse to bow to terrorists, even if they're my fellow Americans, and will not say I'm afraid to have these milquetoast-ass opinions that Charlie Kirk had, I have, or you have, that are basically congruent with the fucking normal American ideals since the founding of this fucking country. If they want to act like it's weird to have that and that we deserve to fucking die, then you better fucking be willing to bring a goddamn army.
Fucking men. That's the other thing too, is this is the other thing that Kyle Mills, the author, and I spoke out a few weeks ago, and there are a lot of authors who, spoke out today too, against the left, some of whom have been on the show, some of whom, were pretty apolitical, up until today, but
it got
the whole idea
in their throat, and then until they have to say something.
The whole idea that words are violence, which is what the left is, that's how they're justifying that Charlie Kirk.
They can eat fucking shit with that.
Why they deserved it?
If that's the case, I want to talk about that real quick, Sam. That's my solution. Words are violence. Okay. Well, as far as I was aware, at least today, there was reports that somebody had put up a threat on the internet yesterday. Now, if that's true or not, whatever. How many cases did they put up manifestos? How many cases did they put up warnings? How many cases? And these fucking Section 230 bullshit protecting all these platforms needs to go. If they post a manifesto and you didn't do anything to intervene and they go out and commit actual violence, I think Facebook, Twitter, all of them, Reddit, need to be held to account for hosting terroristic propaganda.
If companies want to be considered people, they need to be held accountable like people.
And not just the companies, the motherfuckers posting threats.
Agreed.
You need to go back to the way it used to be, where if you fucking said something violent in public, somebody came and knocked on your door to make sure that you weren't a threat, and you either ended up in a fucking prison cell or a padded room. We are way too laissez-faire about threats on the internet, considering the things that have taken place, considering how many assassination attempts that we've seen, considering how many assassinations we've seen. Yes, the CEO of that healthcare company, that was an assassination. There's no other word for it.
Yep.
The people who got Molotov cocktails while protesting for fucking Israel or whatever, that's an assassination. We are having political assassinations in 2025, and when you're at that point, you need to fucking crack down on violent rhetoric.
We're getting political assassinations by the people who claim that we're the fucking violent ones, too.
I know. And it's also funny, because I was mentioning before we came on the air, Sam, how they came to power in the 60s and 70s, the left, was on the back of political assassinations against their guys. They've
Yeah.
forgotten this. They forgot that the
Yeah.
MLK was their martyr. They forgot that Bobby Kennedy was their martyr. They forgot that JFK was their martyr. They forgot Malcolm X was their martyr. They forgot all of that. And then they're trying to make Trump a martyr. Now they've made Charlie. I hate to use the word because, my God, he was 10 years younger than me, Sam. He's 10 years my junior. He should not be gone. But he's a martyr, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
with God now, and he'll be okay. It's the rest of us I pray for.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to just take a moment to say thank you to everyone who has, reached out to me and offered, condolences. And I would urge people to, send condolences to the main Turning Point, account, and send condolences to, Charlie's family. My
Just
God.
though, also respect their privacy right now and
Yeah.
all that. But yeah, if you generally, I would say if you really want to send condolences, at the TPUSA account's probably a good place where they'll probably appreciate some kind words right now.
Yeah, I would imagine
Can't imagine
so.
the main offices at TPUSA are anything but in absolute devastation right now.
Honestly, like I never thought. I mean, I, I never thought that a guy who simply started a college, you know, uh, a college conservative program would be the target of a political assassination. That never. I mean, I guess that's the other thing is like compare.
It doesn't feel real now. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel real now. This is wild.
No.
It's I can't make jokes. There ain't no fucking jokes I can make. I'm angry. I'm sad.
I mean, even if it were Alex Jones, I would still be sad, and I would still. But
it doesn't matter who it would be, right? I would grieve this way for a left winger that got murdered in this manner. I've been talking about Malcolm X's murder, and it happened before I was born on this show this year. I am always against political violence. We're always against political violence. We've made that very clear. And yet it keeps going beyond anything. And then we hear the run-of-the-mill right is just, they're right. You know when the left says, oh, thoughts and prayers doesn't do anything? They're fucking right, because that's the only answer we get half the time from the conservative mainstream. And then the left-wing mainstream will tell us, well, I'll take the guns. Well, what about the rest of us who live in the fucking real world? What are we? Which side? We got to pick one or the other, right?
Well, one thing I've been seeing today is, well, Charlie didn't want to take guns away, and now he was shot by one. It's like they don't.
Yeah, but Charlie didn't want
get it.
Fucking violent crime to be not treated as a serious thing. In fact, that's the opposite of what he believed.
Yeah, I saw today that gun violence is. I'm going to get this wrong, but something to the effect of gun violence is the sacrifice we make for the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
I just.
And you know what?
I do think there needs to be a crackdown on violent terroristic rhetoric. That's my solution. And actually, it would have been Charlie's solution too. He mentioned it before. He talked about how Antifa should be labeled a terror group. One.
Yes.
I mean, this is that's the thing of why I even use the word martyr. I don't like to apply that word to a man who's just freshly passed away. Okay. But everything he stood for, they proved him right with a bullet.
Exactly. You guys wanted to somehow prove him wrong. Well, guess what? You you fucking proved him right.
You don't prove somebody wrong by shooting them.
Because ideas are bulletproof. They should know that. It's from one of their favorite fucking little movies that they like to LARP about.
Yeah.
They all like to LARP that they're V from Vendetta and that this was justice. This wasn't justice. This was a father of young children murdered in cold blood for no reason except ideology. And it doesn't matter which fucking strain of leftist ideology. Matter of fact, even if a right-winger, it turns out they find a guy who did it and he was a right-winger, it's still ideology. And it's still violent fucking extremism. That's the fucking problem. And I'm telling you, good friend Asa J on the right after Trump was elected made this prediction about what he was calling a color revolution. Okay, the red and the blue are going to fight each other so violently that everybody who's purple, everybody in the middle is going to say, "Stop them, crush them, and we all will lose rights in the process." That's what they're accelerating towards, Sam.
And I see it happening too. Unfortunately.
And it's not a grand conspiracy, even if that's what it sounds like, because they don't need a grand conspiracy. I promise you this, Sam. The shooter probably did actually act alone because they don't need to fucking prop these guys, wind them up, and give them a plan no more. They just fucking tell them to do it over and over again in their media. Hassan Piker calls for violence every fucking day on his Twitch.
Dude, every fucking day.
You don't need a rocket. All you need is crazy people in society, and give those crazy people the same bullshit violent message over and over and over again until one of them pops. And then you get exactly what you wanted. They can't. There's a downside to this strategy. It's not as efficient as when you set a shooter up and set up a patsy and have this whole fucking elaborate plan. However, you never get caught. Hassan Piker has a little bit of Charlie Kirk's blood on his hands. And by the way, I watched his reaction.
So does Dan Clancy.
And I hope that fucking felt disgusting, Hassan. I hope that it fucking hurt to watch. He almost cried. Good. You had a hand in it.
Also, fuck MSNBC.
I'm glad you said that, Sam, because if you hadn't, I would have.
And also, fuck Keith Olbermann, too. Because
I knew you would have said that. That's
because Keith Olbermann
beef right there.
Because Keith Olbermann, that fucking boomer-ass faggot, made a tweet a few years ago, and I'm not gonna dig it up because I don't have to. But he made a tweet basically saying, "Well, if Charlie Kirk, is for guns, but what if something happened to him with one? How?" As with most of your takes, Keith, it aged like milk, like spoiled milk.
From normal point of view, but on the left, when he said that, he was in the fringe. Now that's the mainstream opinion.
Yeah,
and that's what I mean. Their fucking rhetoric has gone off the goddamn wall. I watch enough left-wing media, Sam. I know. I don't just see the clips like most of y'all out there. I'll watch MSNBC. I'll listen to fucking NPR, and I want to know what they're saying. I read Huffington Post, and let me tell you, all of those supposed reputable mainstream left-wing outlets, all of them call for political violence regularly.
Yes.
They pose it as jokes. They pose it as riddles. They say it outright. It doesn't matter. But the end of the day, the message of all of these left-wing outlets is that somebody has to do something.
Yeah, it's just it's just a thought exercise. It's just a thought exercise, guys. We're just hypothesizing. Nah, fuck that.
Reddit needs to be just closed down. Probably, You know what? Let's be fair about it, Sam. 4chan and Reddit. Both go.
Yeah.
Equal. Because how many threats have been on both? That have amounted to something. How many times has violent threats, whether it be terroristic or just normal criminal shit, how many times have murders, threat, all of that been posted on either 4chan or Reddit? And then actually happened? A lot. A fucking lot.
Yeah.
So there we go.
You know,
I think Reddit's the bigger problem, but somebody else might think 4chan's the bigger problem. And Sam, I'm a deal maker. So we get rid of them both.
Yeah. equal opportunity. Why not?
Oh, and fuck the Dems in Congress. They couldn't be fucking silent for 2 goddamn minutes today.
They actually screamed no and booed. They booed. They booed the idea of praying for a murdered man. Just remember that.
They'll honor fucking George goddamn Floyd, but Charlie Kirk, boo.
Yeah, and so, in the spirit of that, Sam, would love to dig up George Floyd and wipe my ass on his head. Wouldn't that be funny? That'd be so funny, wouldn't it?
I'd like to take a piss on his corpse.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny, isn't it? And now, actually, we don't really feel like we're not sickos. So we're just joking. I guess that's what counts as a joke tonight, as sick as it is. But
yeah,
the reality is like they say casual shit like that all the time about Trump. You see it every fucking day. You don't see us say shit like that. And I picked a target that's been dead for 5 years to joke about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do we... I challenge anybody out there, hey, lefties, go through the entire catalog, at least of me on the show, since I'm not speaking for Sam here, and find a point where we ever endorsed political violence. Ever.
Even go through my catalog. Go all the way back to 2009 when I was an edgy teenager. Right. I can guarantee you even then I might have said some edgy shit on occasion, but I never once called for political violence. The only time I called for violence was in self-defense, and that's a very, specific situation.
Well, I've called, for people to defend themselves when attacked. But the other one is I have called for a form of violence. It's called that I have said that people who are engaged in sedition and treason should be brought to a fair trial, and if convicted and found guilty, be hung.
Yeah.
But that's not violence. That's not political violence. That's calling for the law to be applied to people in Congress.
I've also said that like the special forces should wipe ISIS off the map at the time, which we fucking did.
Well, that's we were at war. That's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, anybody calling for the harm or assassination of an American citizen who is an American citizen is engaged in domestic terrorism. So first off, if you make those kind of threats, I think that the FBI should come knocking at your fucking door. And I don't care what political stripe you are. I don't care if you're a righty. I don't care if you're a lefty. If you go online and you say, I'm going to whatever violent fucking stupid thing you're going to do, somebody needs to come and at very minimum ask, were you just fucking around? Are you just blowing off steam? Are you serious? Do we need to get you into a padded room, or do we need to get you into a fucking cell where you can't hurt anybody?
Yeah,
And Sam, I think we need to build a lot more padded rooms. I've been saying that for a while.
We need to open them the fuck up.
We literally talked about this like last week too.
And it's funny because I know some people that are left wing And here's the line between left wingers and crazy guys. Right now is the best time you'll ever have to determine in your life if that left winger in your life is beyond help. If they can't say a man being murdered is bad, they are beyond help.
Or I've got one better for you, Max, too, because they can say that, but then, like I said, unfortunately, I've seen some people who I thought were reasonable. They've said stuff like, well, he didn't deserve to die, but he did kind of.
But he was a bad person.
He did kind of invite on himself. How about just no? How about you just leave it at he shouldn't?
How about you just shut the fuck up
died?
Today?
Yeah. There's no excuse. Words do not provoke violence. Having an opinion does not entitle you to a death sentence.
Yeah.
Absurd. But it's like I said, though, you can draw the line in the sand right now and determine if the left winger in your life is beyond help. It's real simple. If they say, wow, that was really bad what happened and I don't like it. Because you know what? I might have said Hassan had a little bit of the blood on his hands, Sam. But you know what he said? He said it was horrible. He said he didn't like it. So if Hassan fucking Piker can say it and you can't, you're a psychopath.
If he can say it and you can't, you're worse than Hassan.
Right. So imagine that, Sam. Imagine you're more crazy than the most violent rhetoric terroristy guy on the fucking internet. If you can't say that this was bad. So if somebody in your life can't just say, yeah, you know what? It's terrible that we would have such a thing happen. And it's terrible that it happened to him. And it's awful what happened, that his family is now left without a father. And all of these people, the young lives that he touched, are in mourning. If you can't say it's bad, I think you should be locked up.
Yeah.
It's an indicator of psychosis in my mind that you cannot say a murder is bad. So that's the test. If somebody in your life does not think that this is bad at all, when confront, and hey, maybe they start with, I'll give a little leeway, Sam. Maybe they even start with a joke because on the left they're so casual about these things now. But if you stop that person that you care about, because I'm talking about people you care about, I'm not trying to smash your relationships, I'm trying to save them. If you stop that person after they've made a joke about this and say, man, actually that really bothers me because da-da-da-da-da, and they say, you know what? Oh my God. Yeah, it's an awful tragedy and I'm sorry. That's forgivable. But somebody that just thinks it's funny, I think they should be locked away, not necessarily for a crime, but for psychiatric purposes.
I do want to address
figure out what's wrong with them.
I do want to address a few liberals in my life, and I don't want to call them out by name, but I hope they're watching. And to those specific individuals, I know you didn't like Charlie Kirk for whatever reason.
Sure.
But I know you guys like me, even if we disagree politically. Imagine for a sec that it's not Charlie Kirk that passed away. Imagine for a sec that it's actually me that got shot. And we may disagree, but you've always known me to be a decent guy. And yet some of your fellow lefties were saying, but Sam, he said, he didn't deserve to die, but he did say controversial things, so he kind of brought it on himself. Imagine how you would feel.
Yeah, you might feel compelled to defend him, huh?
Because
you might feel compelled to say, but Sam was a great guy. Yeah, that's where we're at when you make those comments. So, look, yeah, anybody that has, if you actually have humanity, this is not something to fucking joke about.
And listen, I want to address something too real quick. I've had disagreements with Charlie Kirk in the past over management style. I think people have misunderstood kind of in the past that they think that Charlie and I have had some sort of beef. No, we
Yeah, we
Uh,
talked
uh,
extensively about this like 2 years ago, right? With Shmuley. Um, it's an organizational thing. You didn't like
yeah,
and by the way, a lot of the criticisms that you pointed out, and I don't want to go it because it's such petty bullshit at this point. But the
no, but
that you were pointing out, in a lot of cases, Charlie changed TPUSA in a way that your criticism wasn't even valid anymore. So basically, you criticized it and he fixed it.
yeah, I mean there was also that I mean that's what was largely
And the other one is that you came to be pro Trump long before he did. But in the end, I mean, we all know he's been very friendly with Trump the last several years. So
yeah and
that's all
yeah and
history. I just want people to know that you criticized him in the past doesn't mean you like we've said nothing but nice things about TPUSA since I've been here.
right
We've
and
shown Charlie Kirk videos on the show. We've
I
talked
mean
about his different speeches and things. Like, yeah, we're not haters, and this devastates us.
I mean honestly now my only regret, and I'm sincere about this, my only regret is that I couldn't shake his hand in person and say I know it's been a long time, but you've done well,
Well,
sir.
I think I can do the next best thing for all of us, Sam, and I mentioned it earlier, is maybe say a little prayer for him. He would appreciate that. And
Yeah,
actually, Maxine picked out a psalm for me to read. Um, and so I'm just going to read this. It's Psalm 54, and just looking it over, it was very fitting. So, save me, O God, by the name, and judge me by thy strength. Hear my prayer, O God. Give ear to the words of my mouth. For strangers are risen up against me, and oppressors seek after my soul. They have not God before them, Selah. Behold, God is mine helper. The Lord is with them that uphold my soul. He shall reward evil unto mine enemies, cut them off in thy truth. I will freely sacrifice unto thee. I will praise thy name, O Lord, for it is good. For he hath delivered me out of all trouble, and mine eyes has seen his desire upon my enemies. Amen.
amen.
Quiet in pace.
Lord, we pray for Charlie Kirk's family and for his friends and his colleagues, and we ask that you touch them in this very difficult time, and we also ask that you lead this country in this dark hour, and that you lead us to walk in your path and strive to be better. And, you know, just help people to see beyond politics and be one with each other under your guidance and under your love. And guide law enforcement as they continue to investigate. And just lay your hand upon this nation, dear Lord, because we sure need it. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
It's rough out there, but I think we could get through this, and we could be thankful that we had Charlie in the world at all to awaken the hearts and minds of many, many young men and women, a generation of which we're seeing the fruits of only now, just starting to, and may that work continue on for many years to come, even in his absence.
Yeah, I shared I shared earlier on Twitter that Andrew Breitbart, when he passed, that was I was a teenager, and that was a heart attack. That was still tragic, but that was one of my activation moments. I've always carried a torch for Breitbart, and maybe there's a younger me out there that was inspired by Charlie Kirk, and if that's the case,
Yeah,
I wish them much success, um, as well. Um,
there's always a
I'm
future. We can always pick up and move on. This is a devastating blow for sure, but the last thing Charlie would ever want is for people to give up hope.
Yeah. No, you're right. And look, we don't, at least I don't do as much of like the, hard hitting like activism like Charlie did, but I feel like, in kind of the circles that I run with in the author world, we're very pro America. Almost all the authors I know are either, veterans or veteran adjacent. Um, we very much all have the old school, pro America, um, vibe. And it is funny that you say that, Max, that we're kind of in the 1970s era right now, because, you know, the civil rights movement did end violently, but also with the culture in the in the 70s, you got movies like Dirty Harry and Death Wish, which were kind of like they pushed hard against the left and against a lot of this
And
left
Nixon
wing.
won in a landslide. Yeah.
And the Night of the Vigilante, was at least for me, was a bigger hit than I thought. That was talking about cartel violence. I did not expect it to get the
That was the
reception.
that was the fun side idea you had been floating around to us for a while. You're like, I want to
Yeah,
write about a cartel cowboy kind of deal. I remember, and I was like, that sounds awesome. Not gonna lie. And you were like, yeah, but I gotta get through like Shadow's Deception 1, 2, and 3, and then I'll get it to it. And when you finally did, yeah, it deserved to blow up because it was a great idea, man.
yeah, and Blood Ties too has also blown up, and
Tell you're having a lot of fun in both of those books, by the way. It
I
comes
I'm
across
having
like they're meant to be fun.
I'm having fun, but boy, I have to tell you too, like it is a little. This is unfortunately one of the sad things. Is unfortunately, it's one thing to write about political assassinations in a fictional setting.
Yeah.
It is kind of sad when both Eric, Bishop, or Terrence McCauley, or any one of us can pull from today's headlines for political and for like story inspiration. That's. I
Well,
mean, it's
we have talked
bittersweet
about
because
this kind of security because of many of those authors since the Trump attempted assassination last year. And one of the things that always comes up is the Secret Service. Here's a case where there would be none. Like,
yeah,
let's be real for a second. From a tactical point of view, this is the most cowardly bullshit possible. This is a man that puts himself out there, right out in the open, in front of everybody, all the fucking time. Oh, you're so fucking brave.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too. Is
I
like,
had my way,
you know,
Sam. I don't want this guy to kill himself with a gun. I don't want him to get shot down by the cops. I would like to have a nice, fair trial and put
I
a
want a
rope
trial.
around his neck in the public square for everybody to fucking see. Because he
yeah,
did it in the public square. He made.
we
There's gonna be a generation of kids who end up seeing that fucking shit and traumatized by it.
ima- imagine being a student and going to see Charlie. Even if the one thing I will say is even if you disagree with Charlie, if you're a liberal or a lefty, even if you went to go see Charlie speak with an open mind, good on you. And it has to be. I feel bad for
Many
anyone
liberals
who.
did. That's why I want to point out it's not everybody on the left is not a devil. But if they can't see what happened as being bad, that's your line in the sand right there.
Yeah,
He touched people on the left too, and he might not even change them to the right, but the conversations I've seen videos of people saying just the conversation with them made them think about things differently. It's all he was trying to get at. Ever.
I
This is not a
like I
capital
said.
crime. Sorry, Sam.
No, you're.
Just get a little wound up at this. It's an attack at everything we hold dear, honestly, not just on the right, but like the country we love. It's against everything it stands for.
Uh, yeah. I mean, listen. I like right now. Even I'm getting bombarded with messages of just like people being like, "What is going on with the world?" And look, I don't know that I'll ever be as popular as Charlie Kirk, and as much as I hate to say it, like today is one of those days. I'm glad I'm still somewhat of an anonymous, but I will tell you this as someone who's traveled in similar circles. If you can hear my voice right now, do not despair, because one thing that Charlie and I did agree on, although we had maybe different tactical approaches, we believe that Americana and the idea of America is awesome. This country might not be perfect, but as I've
The
said
thing y'all
before,
agreed on is that God is great.
yes,
Agreed.
Yep, and then that's a good enough reason to hope. It's tough, you know. This is um this is gonna be something that hurts for a while for a lot of us.
I don't know if this is
yeah,
true, but I just saw this come across my feed on Twitter. Apparently, Matthew Dowd was fired from MSNBC for his bullshit.
good. Fuck that fuck that motherfucking asshole.
Great. I hope that's actually true.
Yeah. Well,
So,
that's the problem
sorry,
on
I'm
reporting on things or talking about things like this too. Is as far when we went on the air, as far as I knew, we didn't have a shooter in custody. There'd been disputes about that, and the facts of the case might be up in the air. But we do know, you know, that Charlie Kirk was shot and that he died, and that's kind of what we had to focus on. As hard as that is, I'm sure that later on, when we're all in a better head frame and there's more information, we could talk about the logistics of the case, and I'm sure there will be disputes about evidence and things. But for right now, it was like we were barely able to come together to do the show just to process what had happened, guys.
yeah, and also I really do apologize. I usually don't swear on air like this, but just a lot of raw emotions.
I figured, I figured a little bit of Bible reading and prayer might, help, and it does, I think.
Yeah, it
But this
it
is just
it it
terrible.
does, but
There's gonna be a
it
reckoning
does.
in this country.
Yeah, and it's I just hope I just hope that it's mostly peaceful. And I'm not even saying that out as like a joke. Um,
Well, it's like I don't want to crack down that creates, let's say, a more of right loss. I think we've lost enough rights with the TSA. We've lost enough rights with the Patriot Act. We've lost enough rights with da 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 on and on. It's only going to create a situation if we try and crack down on violent extremism that does inevitably affect people. And so the libertarians out there that know that that's going to happen, I'm sorry, but I tried to warn everybody that this is, and I'm still warning because we haven't got there yet, just so you know. But the political violence coming from both far ends of the spectrum is going to incite the center to say, I don't care about their rights anymore. Stop this now. And
yep.
on that day, we'll all lose rights.
Yeah.
And those centrist normies won't give the slightest fuck. They just want to be safe out in public. They just want to not have the guy that they watched on YouTube get shot to death. They just want normalcy. And they will get it. They will demand it. And it will come at the heads of the fucking violent people and anybody even remotely associated with them, and they won't care.
Yeah,
It's
it's
only an outcome of all of this political violence. I know there's the Tim Pool LARPers out there that are like Civil War. It's never going to actually look like that, bro.
No. Especially in 2025.
Some would say that we're kind of already in a soft civil war right now, and I mean, as much as I hate to say it, like, I don't necessarily agree with that, but like, I can kind of see why people might think that in a weird way.
It's a case that you could easily make pulling from the headlines, right?
Yeah.
Now, people's day-to-day doesn't actually resemble that. Most people in a given week talk to people they disagree with in the course of business and shopping and whatever else. Like, it's not actually as dire as that. However, when you see political violence happening frequently, yeah, it feels that way, doesn't it?
One of my friends who I like talk to almost every day, he basically said today, like, he's barely on social media like at all, but he said today, like, even Twitter he got off just because he just said I just fucking can't. He's like I don't know how you do it, like promoting the book and
Twitter's
doing
been
every
fucking
day.
wild today.
So
I can't imagine Blue Sky.
I don't even. Props to Craig, like, for going on Blue Sky, and like my fucking Facebook timeline is a fucking disaster. Instagram like isn't much better.
I had to unfollow at least one artist that I've known for more than a decade and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. An actual friend. Yeah. It's a shame. But again, my line in the sand for you being a psychopath is if you cannot acknowledge that a man being shot in cold blood is bad. So he couldn't acknowledge that. He thought it was good. So he crossed my line as a psycho.
Which, like, by the way, that is a super fucking low bar.
Yeah, it really is. Hey, Sam, you compared it to a hypothetical of what if you got shot. I got a better hypothetical to compare it to because it's not a hypothetical. You talk to any boomer that doesn't have sympathy or feels like some kind of way about this, ask them how they felt when Martin Luther King got shot, because it is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Exactly. A peaceful man of God who came to places only to speak to other people about his beliefs was shot in cold blood. It's the same fucking thing. Leaving behind a widow and children. It is exactly the same as what happened to Martin Luther King Jr.
That's what my stepfather said, actually.
And I say it's wrong when it happened to King, and I said it's wrong when it happened to Malcolm X, and I said it's wrong when it happened to both the Kennedy brothers, and it's fucking wrong now. It's the same fucking
Sammy,
yeah.
There's a 4-minute clip that Trump tweeted on X, I guess, about Charlie. If you want to pull that up.
Have you seen it?
Yep, it's in the DMs.
Okay, real quick, I have to ask. Like, it doesn't have like footage of the shooting, right? Because
it's him at the desk.
okay, well, okay, then we'll play it. I really like people are playing the footage.
Yeah,
Folks,
I don't want to replay the footage. People
no.
Yeah,
find it.
I
it's just him at his desk.
yeah, I'm not.
I understand curiosity, okay, but we're not going to show that.
Yeah, no.
Like even like I know Jake Widmer is watching him. Like trust me, even even people I know who are used to like seeing hardcore stuff has been shaken by it.
I grew up in an emergency room, Sam, and it made me cry. I don't want to see it again.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna see it again because it's all over the fucking internet. But at least here, we're not gonna force anybody to see that shit that doesn't want to.
Yeah, no.
And if you haven't
yeah,
seen
me,
you're being spared. Don't go seek it out.
yeah, I've seen yeah. I mean, I thought seeing the Trump video was bad, and it was, but like this makes that look like fucking child's play.
Yeah,
agreed.
You basically got to stay off social media today if you care about this. That's my best suggestion to people. Oh, see, yeah. She just got non-consensually exposed to one of the fucking pictures on Facebook. This is what I mean.
And fuck me, Rumble's. Rumble's
being Rumble again. God damn it.
Sam got rumbled.
That's what we get for trying to watch a video of Trump.
Yeah.
God damn it, Mort.
I apologize. Rumble decided to do its thing. Anywho. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just stay off social. Yeah. It's but
quick, the other thing, replying to the nasty people with nasty stuff is not worth your time either, in my opinion. But that's just don't even bother with them. Just sorry, Sam. Let's see what the president said.
I've muted I've muted a bunch of people today. I know Charlie would love to hear. Charlie was the biggest Trump fan. And I know that, Charlie would appreciate this, so let's hear what the president has to say.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and three others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Well,
I'm surprised,
could not.
considering that he was really close with Charlie, how well maintained he was for that. But he hit on every point I would
Yeah.
have liked out of him. He called it what it is, terrorism. He said he's going after exactly what I said. Also, though, does what he just said not fulfill my color revolution prophecy? I've been saying the whole time I've been here, Sam, that this is going to lead to a crackdown on people for doing this shit, and it's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
People have gotten too comfortable with just like casually talking about ending lives like it's a game. Like they live in some kind of fucking virtual reality where it's just, oh, it's no big deal.
and I am not that, like, I don't want to say it's an age thing, but just like I was just, it's inconceivable to me. Like even when I'm on the line, I always try and treat people uh, decently.
I mean, on election night, we had your friend on who's a Jill Stein supporter. And me and him became great
Yeah,
buddies that night because it turned out we agreed on a lot of things, and people wouldn't think that, right?
yeah,
All you gotta do is look at people like fucking people, and the king of that, Sam, was Charlie Kirk.
What's the thing we always say? Meet people where they're at.
Meet people where they're at. There was Charlie Kirk did that better than even I, who say it all the time.
uh, I
But we can't meet
yeah, I mean,
people where they're at in one case. Where they're at is I want violence. You can't meet anybody there.
Right.
You're meeting them on the battlefield.
yeah,
We're
I
trying to meet them on the field of ideas and just say, hey, we disagree, and a lot of people are on our side, and you disagree, and a lot of people on your side. That's called democracy. That's called politics. Shooting somebody is called murder.
I find it so incredibly sad that I mean I know people who are openly gay, but they're afraid to come out as being Trump supporters because they might be
Because that's
ostracized.
scarier to be. That's more of a
Yes.
danger to their health, which is fucking crazy. If you think about in the 80s, a metal bro like me might decide to go gay bashing one night, right? So the fact that they're more scared in 2025 to come out as mildly milquetoast conservative tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
The fact that my wife is like, oh, but we're kind of out there, and this could be potentially dangerous, and it's like, yeah, I can't even say no.
The
I could up until Charlie Kirk got murdered in front of my eyes. A man
the
that I like I said, we've criticized on the show for like minor shit. We were like,
yeah.
oh, well, maybe the organizational structure could be better because maybe he could listen to more ideas outside. That's like the most minor. He would love that discussion. In fact, like I said, he changed some of the way TPUSA worked because you weren't the only one saying it. I'm not even saying, oh, he listened to Sam. That would be
Right.
arrogant. But your criticisms of him, Sam, were not alone. You weren't the only one saying them, and he addressed quite a few of them. But your criticisms were never even about policy, about his main goals. As you put it in the DMs today, you're a fellow traveler. The message is almost the same.
Yeah, and I mean it, and in a weird way, as one of my friends like put it, like maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that like I didn't join Turning Point because maybe the author space is where maybe I am supposed to be creative and
Well, as they
and
say, everything, has its reason or, God's
yeah,
plan or whatever. But, and you could say in a time like this, that's a callous thing to say. But Charlie would have said it. Charlie would have said it.
yeah,
He would have said, you got to have some faith in the creator. You got to have some faith in your Lord that he knows
and
where things are going and we don't. But it's tough in times like this because what fucking plan is the question you're going to want to ask? And the only answer I can come up with doesn't necessarily come from anything Charlie said. It comes from something my father-in-law said, which is like, just because things are really, really bad doesn't mean that there's not a plan, actually, and that they can turn around and become something more than just a tragedy.
Yeah.
I think in the long term, this can turn into a moment of reflection on the state of things. I think even a lot of left-wing people are affected by this, Sam. Genuinely.
I hope that this is the moment. I guess this is me just trying to be like optimism pill. I'm seeing a lot of I'm seeing a lot of black pill stuff out there today, and to a certain extent, I get it. But I've always been an optimist. It's just always how I've been wired. As you said last week, I don't know why I've always been so optimistic. I just am.
Yeah.
But I would hope, and based on what I'm seeing, I would hope that this would be the moment that more people on the left would say, maybe we do need to slow down on the rhetoric, and maybe we do need to talk. I know. I know more, but
I did make one joke today. So when there's two reasons I made the joke, Sam, and I like to explain. It was on Twitter. One is because Charlie had not been announced as having passed at that point, and the other is because a gentleman in the audience had been identified as potentially the shooter and restrained and taken into custody. And so I made the joke thinking that it was so surreal what happened that Charlie's going to be fine. I kept telling myself that until I saw Trump tweet it, to be honest with you, Sam. But I said, I guess we really need common sense boomer control. And the joke is because boomers have been wilding the fuck out, man. And if the boomer didn't do this, that doesn't change my joke. And also, I'd like to apologize because I shouldn't have made it at all.
Yeah, well,
because he was announced as having passed shortly after, and I felt terrible about it. But I'm not going to delete a tweet. That's
no
pussy shit. I'm just going to say, look, man, I shouldn't have made a joke at that point.
Well,
even if it was a low key joke, it was very low level. It wasn't like, oh, the edges. I just feel bad about it, man.
Even my stepdad, who is a boomer, I think he's been watching clips of our show because he said something to the effect of he agrees with a lot of your criticisms of being of just boomers.
It wouldn't be that far-fetched that a boomer did it, is all I'm saying. You could easily see a lefty boomer thinking they're a hero because there's already been a couple of boomers that have tried to kill Trump. There's been boomers that have tried all kinds of shit. So I just thought, and also, Sam, to add to that, when a shooting usually happens and they say they have the person on scene in custody on film, it almost always is that guy, right? This is the one case they're saying it wasn't that guy. So I assumed it was that guy, and I made a joke about it. And I shouldn't have made a joke about it because I didn't know that Charlie was not going to be okay. And then I saw the reason I felt bad is I saw the video. Not even when he got announced. I saw the video and I was like, oh my God, I can't, there's no joke to be made about this. I'm supposed to be on a show tonight to be funny. And then you messaged and said the same fucking thing, basically, is what are we even going to do? It's not exactly comedy night over here.
Yeah,
But
I mean, like,
people do want to know what you have to say about things, so
yeah, I mean,
kind of
and I mean,
processing it live on air. I hope people enjoy or can maybe grieve
I,
with us, I guess, because it is grief.
yeah,
No mistake.
I, I, I hope that like even if you guys aren't, I hope that even if you guys aren't enjoying the show, because let's be honest, this, I hope though, like as cliche as this may seem, one of my goals of doing the show has always been to, I guess, help people in some, way, and I hope that for whatever it's worth, I'm helping someone um, out there, maybe. Even
Well,
if you're listening,
I hope
even
so.
if you're even if you're listening to this the day after, um,
I'll go
just
one
and I
further, Sam. Like if you do feel, hopeless out there, feel free to reach out on Twitter. Say what up to me, DM me, and like, cause yeah,
yeah
this is gonna be a tough look. I know a bunch of young guys from TPUSA is all I'm saying, and I know for a fact that they're gonna be way more heartbroken than the general populace. And
yeah
all I can offer is a sympathetic ear. But if you need it, because this is a generational tragedy, Sam. I don't know how else to put it.
yeah.
The last time that the political assassinations like this occurred, it's considered a historic period, and a lot of change happened, and it was very similar. That's why I say the late '60s. See, the woke. They were right. The woke period was there 65, 66, 67. But guess what, Sam? Charles Manson's out there now. It's 69. The Summer of Love is dead. Son of Sam's about to show up. Both the
Yeah.
Kennedys are dead, and both Martin Luther King and Malcolm X are about to be shot. That's where we're at in the fucking timeline of these people. And I'm telling you what happened next in that timeline is that everybody, except for Massachusetts, voted for fucking Nixon to put a stop to it all. The riots, the violence, all of it. People voted to stop it, and they will do so again.
And you know what? Like, since the left is so fucking afraid of J.D. Vance, fuck it. I'm gonna endorse Vance right now. I know we're a few fucking years ahead, but I've said it before. I am impressed as hell with the VP, and if he's the one that these wackos are afraid of,
Certainly,
then
he is a
let's
front
go.
runner at the time we're speaking, like no doubt about it. And realistically, the campaign starts in about a year, so we'll know pretty soon.
Also, like, I keep hearing out this blue wave for the midterms. You know, I think that just got fucking canceled.
Sam, I have a feeling that the wave that's coming isn't necessarily blue or red. It's kind of purple. But you know what? It's weird, Sam. The wave, it's shaped like a cross.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
I'm I'm serious. Like, I know a lot of people who aren't very political but are religious who feel like enough's enough. They've put up with enough bullshit.
yeah.
Having faith is not a crime.
No, it sure as hell feels like it sometimes,
I tell you,
but
Sam,
it's not.
what I told you, the temperature's rising. I get handed a book about how Catholics are the devil. You know what I mean? I feel that temperature rising, and maybe it's not just against Catholics too, but there's an anti-Catholic sentiment, there's an anti-Christian sentiment, hell, there's an anti-Semitic sentiment in this country now. Everybody's faith is under the fucking scrutiny of somebody hates you for having it. And I thought that this country was founded that you could have whatever fucking faith you wanted.
Except the faith of
Yeah.
the left.
Yeah, and yet this weird fucking
Woke bullshit religion.
And yet this weird fucking woke cult, that's what it fucking is. It's a cult.
See,
the left will go
it's
to
not crazy to have faith, Sam, in a book that's been the basis of faith for close to 3,000 years total, if you include the Torah as the Old Testament, that has been the faith of generations and generations of people. It is not a crime to fucking believe this book. It is not something worthy of a death sentence in front of an audience. We do not live in some hedonistic fucking barbarian town. We live in the United States of America in the year of our Lord 2025. Heads need to roll for this. Justice needs to be served.
Yeah.
Actual fucking justice needs to be served.
Well, Trump seems pretty I like I said, I was amazed
exactly
at how
what I wanted a president to say at a time like this.
Yes.
Didn't focus on the morbid part, focused on what needs to be done, and gave a very eloquent eulogy for Charlie.
Yeah. And I know people
like
are gonna
ate that word in my throat, Sam, because we shouldn't be talking about a eulogy for somebody 10 years younger than me.
Yeah, I know. It's
send your thoughts and support and prayers to his family especially, but I think that as hard as this is, they do have a lot of support out there.
Yeah. People have also asked who's going to take over for Turning Point. I don't know.
It's a little fucking soon, guys.
I understand why people are curious, right?
It's not even been 8 hours since he was declared as passed. That's why we haven't talked much about the incident itself, right? Because it's too soon. We're talking about the ramifications of it, but we're not talking about the incident because it's only been a few hours, and I understand that that's people's natural curiosity or whatever, but my God, this is not just some fucking news story. This was a human being. Those people at TWR are still grieving.
Well,
he was a brother to almost all of them, at least.
Well, not just that too, but we don't even know the full details of what's going on, but folks, that's my point. This is literal breaking news. We don't even know the full story yet.
It's like earlier, somebody at the event at the university showed a screenshot. They got a rude political question from a reporter basically saying, oh, now that he's been shot there, do you think his advocacy of gun rights, something like that. And he replies, I just learned 23 minutes ago that Charlie Kirk is dead. I've got a lot going on here. I don't need political bullshit gotcha questions. And by the way, if they want to fucking do that, that's how you need to respond now. Why did people play their game, pretend like they're acting in good faith when they're not? Tell them to fuck off. Oh, but he advocated guns, so he should like this. Shut the fuck up with that disingenuous bullshit. Kill yourself. That's what get us off of YouTube. I mean, in a video game, what you need to do
Well,
is
In a video game, take a short walk off a pier.
yeah.
well, we're not on YouTube.
Oh, thank God. Okay, Google the helium method, you sick fox.
No, I listen. I knew. Listen, I knew that like YouTube was you know, might not have been the place for this.
My phone is the camera, but it heard me and it looked up the helium method. That's very funny.
That is funny. I can't blame him. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but like, dude,
Her
if
face when she just read what the helium method was half disgust, half humor.
if Hassan Piker and Nick Fuentes are being more respectful of Charlie's passing,
To be fair,
then
I will give Nick this. He knows the seriousness. We might have, made light of it, but I did even last week. I pointed this out. A man went to his house, and then that man later murdered 2 people, and his intent was apparently to harm Fuentes. Now, I don't like Fuentes. I think he's a piece of shit. Everything he stands for is fake. However, political violence against him is bad too.
no, but like he
understands it because he was threatened with it a couple months ago.
Yes,
so of course he's going to be respectful because he knows that could have been him.
Yes, and he
was.
By the way, it shouldn't be. He can say all the stupid shit he wants in my book. We just make fun of him for it. We talk about his stupid girl punches.
Yes, my point is like he's been, he took a night off from his show tonight and told people to, pray for Charlie's family. I just want to point that out because like, yeah, as much as we made fun of him and like, like criticized him, like even he, is being
right
a decent human.
Again,
that's all we're fine.
There's a line in the sand for me. Are you a psycho? And the line is real simple. Can't you just admit that this is an awful tragedy? If you cannot, then I don't think there's anything more for us to ever fucking argue about or communicate about. All you have to do is say this is bad. Easy. If you can't say that, I think you're a psychopath. And they'll say, what about the school shootings? And I'll say, yeah, I've pointed out they're bad every single fucking time. You won't find political violence that I endorse, as a matter of fact.
Nope.
This has got to be said. Fuck Sucker Punch Productions.
Violence. Never mind. It's not political.
What about Sucker Punch more?
Senior dev of Sucker Punch Productions celebrates Charlie Kirk's death. Fuck Sucker Punch.
Well, I'm not buying any games.
Nope.
I'm not. Jesus. Nah, I can't do taking the Lord's name in vain. I apologize. They got me all fucked up, Sam.
Do you remember my crazy drunk ex-aunt in Vermont?
I don't know if they fully heard that, but yes, I remember your crazy ex-aunt drunk in Vermont.
Even she is saying how horrible it is what happened to Charlie Kirk, and she's not a very good person.
Yeah, I mean, I actually walked by some guys over in the hood. They got this cool little setup where their deck is, and they got like a big screen out there with a cooler and shit. They watch sports games. I walk by them all the time, you know? And usually they're having fun watching sports games, but tonight they were crying and talking about Charlie Kirk. I ran into a couple people crying as I walked on my way. I had to go for a walk. I told you that, Sam. That's why I was like maybe a couple minutes late for when we scheduled, because I was like, I got to clear my head.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we kind of started, you know, essentially like at our normal time. I've just been, like I said, I've kind of looking at like DMs and whatnot from people while we're here. I mean, look, I'm to the people reaching out to me, like I am humbled that you would, you know, think to reach out to me as like a thought leader or whatever during this time. But like I'm just as confused and angry as the rest of you.
Well, but that's exactly why, Sam, is like because you're channeling what everybody else is feeling. It's we are confused, and I think a lot of people want to know where to go next, and the answer is to bed and face tomorrow. That's it. Like there is no long-term answer yet because we got to see, you know, the implications of everything. It's too soon to know where things are going. But we can stay the course and as hard as it is, not be scared of these people because that's the ultimate goal.
That's the other reason why I wanted to do a show tonight too, is like I feel like there were people who would expect us not to say anything. But no, we're here, and the other thing is, as you and Maxine said before the show, you know, Charlie was a good guy. He always seemed to have a smile on his face, and so you want to know, like, you know, how to honor his memory. You know, keep on being happy warriors.
I think another sentiment might apply also. The sentiment Trump had when maybe he thought he was about to die in the same exact way. He said, fight, fight, fight.
Yeah.
And I feel that if Charlie had a chance, and he'd probably have done the same thing because it's the one message you can get across in those few seconds. But I don't think he would tell us to stop or give up. I know he wouldn't.
Yeah. No, Charlie would tell us to, you know, keep on going.
I'm sure there's plenty of capable people in TPUSA that somebody will come and, you know, sort of fill that position rather than take over. I don't think anybody can replace Charlie Kirk, and I think that they all know that too. That's why I don't think they would have an answer yet. They haven't even probably talked about it. They're still probably crying.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Max. I mean, this was a college. I mean, nobody ever thought that a college like organization would be targeted like this.
Well, you know,
I just want to.
They talk about targeting Nazis, right? But I've said this before. I was saying this to my wife earlier. But Richard Spencer is fine. Mike Pinovich is fine. Christopher Cantwell is fine. Where you killed Charlie Kirk and not the actual Nazis, huh?
Yeah, Charlie Kirk isn't the Nazi here, fuckers.
Not even close. Hated Nazis as much as you did.
I mean,
he did. He hated Nazis as much
as
you did.
Yeah, I mean, even like even even Alex Jones was like shocked by this. Like Alex Jones has said before that like, you know, he's always been cautious because he knows he's controversial, you know, and so that's why he travels with protection. Like same with Glenn Beck. Like they know they're controversial. They know that, you know, there's a chance that someone could take a shot at him. I think that's the other thing is like Charlie Kirk was so uh you know, affable and, you know, well liked.
And he's been doing it for years in a very public way, sitting right for anybody to come up and talk to him. That's why it's so goddamn cowardly.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
but then we automatically start to think, oh, then maybe we shouldn't have events like that. But I don't know. I don't think he would change his mind.
Have more events.
I think he would say have more. But I don't know about everybody else. It's okay to be afraid. Some people are going to go underground, so to speak, Sam. Some people are going to be scared by this, and that's okay too. I don't think I can be. I don't think I can back off. I think this fucking pisses me off.
it pisses me off too.
Yeah.
I would get stuck in the dirt if I went underground.
Also,
Sorry, had to try.
Also, it brings up the obvious point. Everybody's talking about taking away anonymity on the internet. But this is exactly why that is dangerous. Charlie was never anonymous, sure, right? But that's exactly why they knew where to go and where to do and what, all this shit. That's why they could make a plan. And when they're doxing people and de-anonymizing them, it turns out people get targeted for violence. They get targeted for swattings, which is a form of violence and attempted murder. We knew this kind of thing would escalate to this. Of course it would. They're losing power and they can't take it, and it's a hissy fit. But it needs to stop now. We can't lose another good man like Charlie Kirk before we rein this in. If you want to openly celebrate political violence on your public profile, I think it's fair game that the FBI should come talk to you.
Agreed.
I mean, people were being investigated for saying that they didn't like Obama.
This is a famous story from the old school days with Shmuley, but we had a guy. He got arrested on some kind of drug deal and told the cops that he could be an informant on political extremists. And it was just us having the same kind of chats we always do. And so he got absolutely nowhere with us and probably ended up in jail because he didn't get us on, like, because he was trying to, like, you guys tell me the secret plan. And we're like, what fucking secret plan, retard? The secret plan is we're going to go on a show on the internet and say things in public. Idiot. Secret plan. So, yeah, he got nothing from it. But that's the thing, is they literally at one point were targeting random podcasts of dudes talking about, like, economics. Yeah, they should target people celebrating political violence.
Yeah.
I want their door knocked on, too. I want their door knocked on.
Even in the time that I've known you, Max and Morthis, like we as a group have, like, you know, I'm not gonna name names, but like we've disassociated with people who
Facts.
were like doing weird political stuff.
Yeah, I banned somebody a year or so ago for making threats, specifically.
Yeah.
He had made threats that I felt were too specific, and I said, look, man, you can't hang out here no more.
yeah, like I don't want to
By the way,
highlight
those threats
that.
were coming from a right-wing position, but it doesn't matter to me.
Right,
I don't want
right,
police
yeah, we all
in my fucking country. Stop it. Enough.
We don't tolerate violence.
Because the state has this thing, Sam. Libertarians love this expression. I feel like conservatives need to understand it. It's called the state has a, say it with me, monopoly on violence. You don't get to use violence. If you live in a country with the state decides who gets to use violence. Seems the left has forgotten that.
yeah.
And we should use the tools of the state to suppress the violence of the non-state actors committing reckless acts of terrorism. That means, yes, knocking some doors down, looking on some people's fucking hard drives, locking some other fuckers up, and yeah, putting lots of fucking boomers into psychiatric wards for the shit that they post. We'll put them all in together. They can all watch old fucking boomer fucking television from the 60s and fucking be happy, right?
Pretty much. Well, but like,
don't worry.
They wouldn't even
don't
like
worry that you're locked up here. Here's Adam West as Batman. They'll be like, boomers will be like, okay. Pass the oatmeal. I'll take my pills.
But
As long
hey,
as
man.
it's
was
Batman
awesome.
and the fucking what's a western from that era?
Lone Ranger.
Lone Ranger, Gunsmoke, and a bunch of boomer sitcoms, right? Just pick a bunch. Boomer sitcom. And just actually, you know what? They have this channel. You ever heard of Me TV? Yeah. So we put
Yes,
the boomers, all the boomers who advocate violence or celebrate it, we put them into these asylums and we just run Me TV 24/7 while they take their pills. They'll be happy. Society will be safe from them. Common sense boomer control. Not all. Not all boomers celebrate violence, Sam. In fact, most of them don't. So if you're that boomer that's like worried, oh, Max, are you talking about me? Are you celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk? Probably not then. Probably not. Just the ones doing that. We get them their oatmeal. We get them their Twinkies. We'll feed them Spam sandwiches for lunch. And nobody needs to ever know a password again, Sam, because they won't be allowed on the internet.
My stepdad was like, I've never seen him. Well, I've only like.
Am I making jokes or am I serious? I am not even sure anymore.
Maybe both. I saw my stepdad. Have you ever seen like a dog look dejected, Max?
Yep.
Or just like that's how my stepdad looked when I told him that Charlie Kirk was
my wife went to bed and was not feeling so hot this afternoon. And I had to wake her up to tell her because I was afraid she would wake up and see the video. And like I said, Sam, she on her own found Charlie Kirk and she watched his videos all the fucking time. All the fucking time. Nothing to do with me. I didn't show her that. She's like, hey, have you ever heard of Charlie Kirk? And I was like, well, actually, yeah, I have. Me and Sam have even talked about it on the show. Sam met him before. Shmuley's done some stuff with looking into TPUSA. Yeah, I'm familiar. And she's like, oh, I really like his videos. He makes a lot of good points, and he's very, nice and all this stuff. And then to see what happened today, all I could think is, my God, if she wakes up and sees that video, she's just going to be traumatized. So I have to at least prepare her out of a dead sleep when she doesn't feel good. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean, Sam. It must be what it was like
Yeah,
for boomers to talk about when Kennedy or any of those other assassinations happened, huh?
he
I certainly
I mean,
won't
he
forget where I
said
was.
no. Um, oddly enough, I was in the exact same room that I was when I heard that someone tried to take out Trump. Ugh.
I was out on the road walking for that one. This one, I actually just woke up myself. Like, we both don't feel good because the weather changed, you know, you get a little down. And so I slept in a
Yeah,
little day. She slept in. And then when I woke up and saw my phone, I was like, oh my God, Twitter's gone nuts. What's going on? And it said Charlie Kirk had, now again, this was like right after he'd gotten shot and the news come out. And it said Charlie Kirk had been shot. And I was like, oh my God, well, he'll be okay, you know. Pray for him, you know. And everybody at the time, that's what they were all saying. And then I saw the video and I was like, oh, I don't think he'll be okay. But it wasn't until Trump's tweet that I kind of had to acknowledge it. And then I immediately went up and woke her up, because if she found out on her own, she was going to see the video too. 100%.
I saw the video, Max, and then Evan, friend of the show, posted in his Discord that Charles was officially dead. And I was kind of like, well, it's just one tweet. Maybe, maybe it's just like an alarmist, that type of thing.
Yeah.
You hope. And
And it's really only been a couple hours since then.
yeah. But by the way, like nothing but respect. I mean, the fact that Evan was the one who had to break the news to, me and to like us, and like, that's not
Well,
easy to do. And
he's the right guy to do such a thing. Evan's a good dude, and
he is like,
it's like I said, I wanted my wife to hear it from me rather than maybe, like, I was worried she'd go on TikTok, because I have a feeling half of TikTok will be mean. I don't even want to speculate as to what they might say, but I had a feeling she'd go on there and see a video and then be laughing or something. And I was like, oh my God. And then she'll just lose her mind.
yeah,
So I had to warn. I didn't want to tell you whether you ever think you want to break news like that to somebody.
I would advise to stay off Facebook and TikTok for the next few
Oh,
days.
she was sitting here and she just looked at her phone and she was like, can't go on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I don't imagine TikTok will be much better. She said she's not even going to open it. Even Twitter, here's my problem with Twitter. It's not the people with the talking about the events, talking about the implications. It's the people loving to show in everybody's face all the people celebrating. I don't want to see that, actually. I know they're doing it. If you want to bring attention to law enforcement, that's fine. But I think wallowing in all the horrible things the left is saying about an event that they caused is not good for your mental health.
No,
that's my 2 cents.
It's not. Well, that's why, like,
Nor is repeated
like, I actually
footage, by the way. That also is not good for your mental health. It's proven.
Well,
it's proven looking at gore and actual videos of people being harmed or killed is bad for your mental health. So, yeah.
can I just say too, like, this might seem off topic, but it's not. Like, does anyone else feel like people's like brains got like fucked up or scrambled like after COVID? I feel like the COVID lockdowns, like, just
Yes.
after that, like,
Whatever the
the
cause,
whole
we definitely have a mental health crisis that's nothing like I've ever seen in my life.
I'm not saying that there weren't issues before, but like it feels like something changed, like, with COVID in
Well, the
particular.
reason I
Like,
say it could be several things is it could be the isolation that people felt, it could be the polarization, it could be
yeah,
onlineness, it could be the fucking vaccines to some degree, it could be something else entirely as well, right? Maybe it's AI, maybe it's the price of tea in China, maybe there's a bunch of factors we don't fucking know about, but it does seem like people were sort of nuts. The reason I say that, Sam, is I went to Straight Pride. I got the sign right there still. 5 years ago, right? Before COVID. And those people tried to harm us then.
right.
They tried to jump the barricade to physically fucking assault us and then got stopped by the cops. And then they threw piss bottles at us and they threw piss bottles at the cops. So, like, there's been a clear escalation of this kind of behavior before COVID, which is why I don't want to just say it was COVID.
Oh, it definitely
Right.
wasn't just COVID, but COVID's helped, unfortunately.
Because
Yeah,
I looked
no,
at
I'm
the
not.
crowd, Sam, and I said the same thing I'd been saying all day. I said, God loves you. And they looked like a bunch of demons in reaction to it. I have a video somewhere. It's insane. She's seen it. They go, "Blah!" The fuck?
Like they're possessed.
I was scared. At first, I thought it was funny. I did that. I was like, holy shit. It's like a sea of demons. And then they started chanting, Boston hates you. And I was like, well, I don't know. They don't like you very much either. So, also, we're the hateful ones. You know, that was the thing the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like we did the Charlie Kirk kind of thing. And I don't remember if he was even, I think he might have been at Straight Pride, but I'm not sure. I know a bunch of people were that spoke. And a bunch of people from TPUSA were there. So it's not that crazy. It wasn't a TPUSA event, but it was, it was the same kind of vibes. We came and we talked about tradition. There was people that talked about traditional marriage. There was people that talked about it's okay to be straight. And then somebody did a Bible reading. And then actually G Notes Justice did a live performance of a bunch of his rap songs. And then Milo gave a speech, right? And that was enough for them to act like insane people. Even Vermin Supreme, there's footage of me confronting that fucker because, like, he should have been on our side, but he was like, you're a bunch of Nazi fascists. And I'm like, boomers' brains. Sam, I don't think it's just COVID, Sam. I think the boomers' brains are the way they are because of how much lead was in the atmosphere most of their life.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong on that. Like,
that's why there's so many boomer serial killers. It's also why there's so many boomer geniuses. It's also why there's so many boomer weird pedo rapists and, people that ate bodies and shit. All this weird behavior associated with the boomer generation. And they're two things. They're two things. They are the most prosperous generation in human history with the most privilege, at least American boomers. And
yeah.
they were completely fucking filled with lead from the moment they were born until about 1979. Now, I'm not saying all boomers are retarded or crazy, but I am saying that the craziest ones, like a Dahmer, right? were probably already a crazy violent fuck, but then that little lead made him like eat people.
You know, I know that like technically Jim Morrison was a boomer, but if you've watched any interviews with him, he kind of hated baby boomers.
Well, like if you look, I don't know, I've read his poetry. Like Jim Morrison, I kind of like, right? And it's because
Yeah,
he was the anti.
we've talked about how much
1 in 5
Yeah.
have the one.
No, he there was an interview he did with the Canadian Broadcasting Company like in 1970. I actually wrote about it on my Substack about like how he said that you know the young people you know of today, he meant the boomers back then, they're all sucked in by the television and they're all programmed by the radios, they're all boring.
Well, but then
kinda
he kind of indulged the other side of the problem, which is the ones we're seeing today that are the most crazy on average are the ones that not just the lead, not just the television, not just the commercialism, not just the subliminal messaging, but also the LSD and the peyote and the magic mushrooms and the mescaline and the heroin and the fucking cocaine and the dude, what generation has done more drugs than the boomers? And it's the boomer
Yeah,
druggos and hippies now that are the biggest fucking problem to us. Even the ones that turn themselves into billionaires.
which funny you should say that because
It ain't your working class boomer granddad is all I'm saying to you young folks out there that are like, my boomer's not like that. Yeah, I had a lot. Dude, I'm reading from my father-in-law's Bible. He's a boomer. Not all boomers are the worst thing ever. But there's a certain boomer insanity that we all should just admit is there. Like, that on average, talking to boomers can sometimes be like talking to an alien.
yeah,
Because they have all these ingrown beliefs that they don't even explain, and they have in-jokes and memes from like 1953 that aren't memes anymore. It's just a thing they keep saying because they saw it on TV. Right?
yeah,
And they don't realize that that's fucking weird to us that don't have the same frame of reference. And by the way, as a millennial, most of us are their kids and we don't even understand them. It's like speaking fucking Chinese. It's literally Will Smith telling you parents don't understand, only we've grown up and the parents still don't fucking understand.
yeah.
Now that we understand what it's like to be parents, we're like, wait a minute, y'all were retarded. What the fuck did you do to us? And that's even the good ones in a lot of cases. You're still like, what the fuck? Why would you feed me this garbage? I love
One of the
but man, and then I guess that's the thing is like Charlie was leading a youth movement to a lot of conservative values, and that's what his biggest value to all of us was, right?
one of Charlie Kirk's final interviews that he did with Tucker Carlson was actually like criticizing the boomers, and literally like everything that Charlie was saying is stuff that like you were saying, that like you said like a year before on this show.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was not only a fellow traveler, as we've said, but a prolific one. One of the better speakers of his generation. Certainly, how many other millennials out there have made as much an impact in the world as he did just by speaking? Very few, if any.
Very few.
And he was only 31 years old, 10 years younger than myself, which is an absolute tragedy that those two young children are going to not have their father there. Now, I don't want to be, negative about it. I think that they'll be okay. Again, there's a lot of community support for them, and I'm sure that, we'll get therapy and all of the things that they need to go forward in life, but it's still a family missing a father-sized hole.
Well, from what I
A
understand,
good father at that.
from what I understand, his children are extremely young. So
They're both under 4 years old.
So it might not traumatize them, but I will say this:
It will, though. It will.
The lack of a father will.
The video is everywhere.
Yes.
Stop sharing that
Well,
fucking video, guys. We get it.
Well, yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, growing up with that is going to be a fucking I can't even put into words.
Yeah.
Really.
Roman in chat says he says they killed him, and then he says I didn't think Charlie deserved that for talking and having an opinion in politics. And yeah, it's that simple, right? If you disagree with that statement, then there's not really much for us to talk about, because you think that disagreement means violence. If you think that disagreement means it's okay for you to be violent, then I think you should be locked up. For the safety of everybody.
The left's argument that words are violence is fucking bullshit.
Unless it's their words.
And K Revan Wolf in chat says, "Hi Sam, hope you are well."
Hey Kay, I did send Jed the link via his Twitter DMs to join Rumble if he wanted to if he wants to join. So I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm sure.
I don't know how much longer we'll be on here. I don't really have any plans to quit, but like I don't really know, like,
we didn't have any plans.
And I guess that's kind of thing is, like, I don't know really where we go from here, even like during the show. Like I know at some point, like, we would usually promote the book, but like I don't even feel like doing that really.
Yeah, he's here.
Jed's
here. I think he's not on mute or whatever.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Okay, you guys can hear me?
Jed's here.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yep.
I had
We
to
can hear
bounce
you.
over to another one, and they were like, "Dude, you need to come over." I'm like, okay. So, yeah. Minute people knew I was up,
Yeah.
it was like they were hammering me with a lot of stuff, and I was like, so I had to make a few calls and a bunch of other stuff. So, yeah.
Reasonable.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah. I don't.
You sound exactly like the rest of us. Welcome.
Yeah. It's. I don't know what to say, man. I kind of literally got a bunch of it out, but I'm still with Snow in them. But I'm frustrated and all this other stuff, man. So, you know.
We all are.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about quite a bit, said a prayer and things, and just kind of like process. It's wild. Like I pointed out earlier, my wife, happenstance on her own, finds Charlie Kirk, really enjoys watching his videos, and I had to wake her up today. She didn't feel good because I didn't want her to see what was on everywhere on the whole internet.
Yeah.
I at least wanted to be the one to break the news, you know.
This is why I know I picked the right woman, because she said some stuff over there with Snow, and then I was like, I even said to her, I was like, this is how I knew I picked the right woman to be with. Like, she didn't say, oh, he deserved it, or she's as stunned as I am, but I know I'm a little bit more because I actually got to talk to him before, so it hurts a little bit more because I know, and I said this over on with Snow and them. I said, it's his wife and his children that I'm, I fear for, because what if they come after his wife and children next? And it creeps me out inside that somebody did this instead of just going and talking to him. You know what I'm saying?
I was pointing out, like, this is a man whose
Yeah.
entire career at this point is
Yeah.
to put himself out in front
Yes.
of people,
Yes.
open. So you are the biggest fucking coward that has ever fucking been a coward little shooter I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah, just like when Trump did. Trump went out, he did it himself. He went out in front of people. He told them what's up. Charlie did the same bloody thing.
Even more intimate with people, right?
Yeah,
But
he
like,
would be there. He'd be like the chair there, microphone there. They would be like 5 feet right in front of him. The
just
stand
walk
and
up
stuff.
out of the crowd, especially if you disagree with me, he would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really hard to process for pretty much everybody. And I've made the point several times. I want to know how you feel about this. My line in the sand with people, it doesn't matter what your politics are, is if you can't acknowledge that this was horrible, then we probably don't have much to say anymore.
Yeah, and I already said that to one of my. I have some family that they were like, he deserved it, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be talking to you for a while then.
Yeah.
So, I've just...
It's a low bar. It's a low fucking bar to say that
if Hassan Piker can acknowledge it, you should be able to.
Yeah. I'm just like, and then what was it, Kay? What did... Kay sent me something. I'm not going to say it, but she said that a person in her family, I'm not going to name names, she said that he was on the evil side and he believed in white supremacy. So, and I was just like, what the fuck? What the fuck, man? I was just, I don't understand.
I swear, it's sometimes these people, Sam will probably be right back.
Yeah, dude, I've streamed with Sam for years. You know that. He bounces in and out.
Yeah.
How do you get it? How do you get the green screen in front on what I was trying to do? I couldn't figure out. How do you do the green screen on Rumble? Because
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Do you have to use OBS?
No, it's just it's built into my Mac. So sorry about that. My a plane flew over and
yeah. Did you see what Kay said right there? She goes, "I was highly disappointed in that person," which said that. Yeah, that's family. That was family that said that. Okay, so Sam, you weren't here. Okay, we have a person in our family, and Kay told me that this person said about him that she just said he was on the side of evil and he believed in white supremacy and he deserved to what happened to him. And I was just like, oh yeah, that person is...
Yeah, I mean... Well, I mean, like, that's the reason why, like, I got off Facebook today because, like, I have a few family members who, like, I said this earlier today. I said this earlier in the show too. Like, even if you don't like Charlie Kirk, like I know liberals who don't like Charlie Kirk, but they like me, and so I asked, like, imagine this was me, and imagine someone was saying this about me. Like, how would you guys feel? Like, it's
how would you feel? And then here's the thing on X. There were several people that I've been friends with for you know this, Sam, that we've been friends with several people for a while. There were a few people that were leaning. I don't know if they were trolling, but because we have a lot of trolley friends at points, but
oh yeah, we do.
Me and you have a lot of trolley friends, especially from the cocktail lounge in the Roadhouse. And
yeah, which by the Which, by the way, I had to. I'm glad you just DM me directly because I had to mute the DM group because some people in there were just getting a bit they were wiling out a bit for me.
Which one? In the
So
archivist or the
no,
roadhouse?
no, no. In the Roadhouse group,
Okay.
people are talking about like civil wars popping off, and I'm like, yeah, I don't need to
Yeah,
this
know
right.
how our homies are, man. So yeah, so
Yeah,
we're not to
so
that point yet, but we're getting there. Not to that point yet, but it like I said over on Snows, I would say we're like halfway there, maybe. Because of what
well,
happened with Trump and then now Charlie, we're at the halfway point
I
now.
I would like to ask you this. We just watched Trump's speech.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get a chance to see it?
Yes, Snow played it over there on his channel. We didn't. The puppets weren't out tonight. The whole Cotton Connection came together, and it was just our real selves over there tonight. And so I think Snow and Snacks were the only two puppets over there tonight. So if you guys want to play it again, I'd love to. If you people
Well, no,
yeah,
not
came in,
we'd already saw it. I just
yeah,
wanted to know if
yeah,
you had
I
thoughts on
saw
it.
it. Yeah, he showed it over there, and I agree with him over there.
Yeah, my reaction. The reason I ask is because my reaction is that's exactly what I would like the president to say in this
Yes,
situation.
yes, I agree with that. And then he came out. This is what I say. He came out with respect and dignity and did what a president should do. That is what a president is supposed to do. You are supposed to come out with dignity, respect, and everything, and calm the people who you work for. And this is why I love Trump. He knows who he works for. He works for the people. You know, there are certain people in
yeah.
our government know they work for the people. Okay, so do you
And that
agree with
can't have
me
been
on that?
easy. He was a personal friend of Charlie's.
Yeah, and that's what even made he knew Charlie like really well.
Yeah.
And then, and there's some other people that I'm worried about because, they've, I got to reach out to them because they knew Charlie too. They've
Well,
been silent
that's
so
the
far,
thing. I, I
you know?
I see a lot of people point out, obviously, his wife and his children and how tragic it is. But I pointed out earlier, a lot of the core people at TPUSA are probably like family to him as well.
Yeah, and we have a
Yeah,
friend. We have a friend that worked there,
Yeah.
okay? That
I,
got to
I,
talk to him a lot. So,
I have several, Jed. Before, I mean, even now,
yeah.
I've been exchanging like text messages with a
Yeah,
There's
few of
so
them.
much crossover in that little segment of what we're doing. I know several people as well, and the thing is like, yeah, a lot of them, especially the ones that go on these tours with him, they are working with the guy every day. So
yeah.
if you could, if anybody like that is close wants to reach out, I'm here. Everybody's here because I don't want that to be forgotten that he was
Yeah.
like an older brother or a father to a lot of these people.
Yeah, and one of and like somebody said to us tonight, we don't know what's going to go on with the organization or the company organization, whatever now, because a lot of
It,
people just
it,
really don't know. You know.
It's too
yeah,
soon
and
to
at
know
this and at
anything,
this
you know.
yeah. Well, that's the other thing. Like Max and I were saying earlier. Like I've had people like ask me like, well, what do you think the future is going to be with Turning Point? And it's like I don't know.
I'm
I wasn't part of the organization, but like
I'm sure that when given time to grieve and process this and figure things out, that they will come up with a wonderful plan.
Yeah.
But for now, like I wouldn't expect them to have any fucking clue what to do because
No,
it's
I
been a
wouldn't
few
because
hours.
it just happened. It
Yeah.
happened, hours ago today.
It's like
So
it's
yeah.
almost like asking somebody like, "Hey, I know that your spouse just died a couple hours ago, but
what are you
uh
gonna do with the company? You know.
Yeah, what happens to, custody of the kids,
And
and where's the house going? And it's like,
are you fucking insane? Shut the fuck up and go away. Like,
yeah, yeah,
you know.
get
It,
off my fucking property and never
yeah.
come back.
Yeah, because you're not respecting who just passed away, you know.
Right, and that's the other thing, I said is like, show support for the family, but let them be as well.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
have any idea. I mean, God, she's so young. They were, young. They 10 years
Yeah.
younger than me. So
Yeah. So,
I apologize if I'm not like saying much. I'm just like, I'm juggling DMs and like
yeah, I
oh yeah,
apologize.
dude.
We're not keeping up with chat as well. But sorry about that.
Well, since I got up today, I had several people message me because I was just Sam. You know what my schedule is. I'm up in the morning, then I sleep. During the middle, like tomorrow's not the day I'm gonna be able to
Yep.
sleep. Right? And then I go to sleep. I get up at like 5, 6 my time, and then I'm up for the rest of the night and stuff. And then I repeat the cycle unless. But tomorrow's it's just like I gotta I gotta do the archivist tomorrow, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to turn it totally political, but I was about to go live on my Revan Web channel until I saw you, and then somebody else was like, hey Jed, we're doing this over here. You want to come over? I'm like, okay, so I was like,
more.
We debated doing the show at all. Wednesdays are usual night for this, and we try to do like I do a top 10 comedy list and all this shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't feel very funny, Sam.
Yeah, I said this too. Yeah. Well, here, Sam. Joe even said we were gonna. We usually do the Wednesday show, right, Sam?
Yeah.
Well, he even said I can't do it today. I don't want to talk about pop culture. I can't do it today. He canceled the show.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily the nature of this show is Sam was like, well, I just want to kind of talk about my feelings, and I was like, cool, we'll just do that. And I brought, I said I'd say a prayer, and so my wife picked out Psalm 54. And that we're just winging it because normally we're sitting here trying to make jokes, right? And it's
and you can't make jokes today, man. It's just like you're like I don't know what to say.
Well, like I don't know, like more. Are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Like I'm just thinking out loud, like like even Bits and Bones, like on Friday, like. We usually do gaming stuff, but like
right now that's touch and go, depending on how we feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know like people really want to hear our review of like Mafia, the old country, because you and I have kind of been psyching.
Right.
But hang on that, Sam. That can wait.
Yeah.
That can wait.
Yeah.
Tonight, it was a good format because, like you said, we could just kind of talk about it. And that's what we've done. And I hope anybody that's watched, I don't know if you've enjoyed the show, if it was fun, but I hope that we help process trauma with you.
Did you see what Kay said, Sam? All the stuff?
Yeah. I'm glad the president said what he said. That's like, and then that's like someone asked me if Jed passed away.
Roman said, I haven't watched a lot of Charlie's speeches. I'm guessing they aren't that offensive. No, he's super milquetoast.
He sits down, has a mic, has a bottle of water, and then just sits down and talks. He doesn't cuss.
Sympathetic as shit to these lefties he talks to.
Dude, there are some of these women. Well, they will basically scream. They're 5 feet in front of him. There's a table, and then they're 5 feet in front of him. And most of the time, they yell at him. And then he goes, well, ma'am. He even says, ma'am, lady, whatever. He goes, what is the definition of a woman? And then they go even ballistic. And then he goes, well, what is the definition of this? Like, he doesn't advocate violence whatsoever. Either.
No.
Well, but asking questions is advocating violence to the far left now.
Yeah, it is, because the truth and asking actual questions, that is a bannable offense. We can't have the truth out there. We can't have this out there because our whole ticky-tacky speech bullshit falls apart immediately, you know?
Well, it's like I said.
Because they can't counter our arguments.
Yeah.
Putting a bullet in this man didn't disprove anything he was about. It proved a lot of it.
They actually proved more putting a bullet in him than them not shooting. And here's the same thing: it's even going to go even higher up with him now. You know.
Yeah. For all these lefties who love to like LARP V for Vendetta and shit, like
Yeah.
nah, it's
dude.
That's us now.
They don't know what they just did.
We ain't even V for Vendetta. We J for Jesus over here, and they
Yeah.
don't like.
I want to say this
Yeah.
as we closed out the show tonight. We had a prayer on Snow's channel for Charlie and his wife and his family, and for the rest of America. That's how we closed out the show tonight. Over on Snow's channel.
That's how we did the middle. And I usually don't pray. I usually don't pray on air because like that's, to me, that usually feels like griftery to do.
Yeah,
but
I know,
felt compelled to, and
But it was for Charlie, and that's the kind of thing he would have done.
Yeah, he would appreciate that. He would go, people are praying for me, good man. You know, good people. You're doing what I've been advocating and I've been preaching and stuff. You know. So.
I will say this. I guess I am glad. I don't know if Jed, if you've. I know you and Max have like talked on X before, but correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you popped in during the election stream. If this is your first stream together, I'm glad you were able to pop.
No, I've been on like once or twice with Max before. I was here during some of the election stuff, and especially when the ball happened, when he got shot. I was over here. Remember, we did one in Joe's, and then we did one over here. So I was over here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Man, time flies.
Yeah, we actually did do that over here. So.
Well,
man,
you know, Joe. Shout out to Joe in chat, by the way, is co-host on Bits and Bones and a good friend of the show. He said 22:15, so I wanted to Revelation 22:15, so I figured I'll read that since he suggested it. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whoever loweth and maketh a lie, I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. But that's actually 16 as well. And it kind of goes all the way to the end. But.
Yeah, it goes on a little bit more.
It definitely does. It goes, 17 is, and the Spirit and the bride say, come, and let him that heareth say, come, and let him that is athirst come, and whoever will, let him take that water of life freely. For I testify unto every man that heareth the word of the prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book, and away his life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book.
Yeah.
He which testify these things, surely I come quickly. Amen. Even so, come, Lord Jesus. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ will be with you all. Amen.
So, yeah. Amen, brother.
I'm actually more used to reading the King James, so it threw me off.
Yeah. And I want to say what we just have in the chat right there. What was it? Roman said he's a martyr now. They literally turned him into a martyr.
There's no pure definition of such. Yeah.
Yeah. He is the pure definition of a martyr now. Yeah. Like you done fucked up, and then you're gonna find out now. Like literally. No.
It's like I was saying before, and Trump basically kind of said this, but I'm saying if you're advocating political violence, I think somebody needs to knock on your door, decide how serious this problem is, and a couple things could happen, but two of them being either you end up in a padded room or a cell.
There's a lot of
They should
people
knock
that,
on your door like they were doing for COVID and vax questioners.
there's a lot of people that need to go to the insane asylum, especially the blue-haired whales, you know?
Well, it's real easy to start with, and that's the people threatening violence of any kind on the internet. You could just go and pick those people up. Now you already got your core asylum group. Then you start looking for, the blue hairs and the.
Well, you also got that one Karen that took the ball away from the dad that the dad was going to give to the kid. She came up, you know, and like took that ball away from the kid at the ball game, you know.
Men, by the way, you gotta not let some Karen take your
ball.
No,
I would have gave that to my boy. If she tried to take that from my boy, I would have knocked her the fuck out. Like, sorry. If she would have laid hands on me, I would have laid that bitch out. Because the minute she's over 18, over 21, she lays a hand on you, you got legal right to knock that bitch out. You know, so, just saying.
You ain't wrong.
I ain't gonna be playing that bullshit.
I'm a big guy, though. I have a different code of conduct for the same reason she does, actually. Yeah. Is because if you saw me on video, it doesn't matter if somebody starts shit with me. It always looks like I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, me too.
So I have a higher standard of conduct.
Yeah.
But even then, you're putting hands on me, bitch. What the fuck?
Well, she put hands on the kid first and then put hands on the guy. I was like, no, you don't fuck with my kid, bro. Yeah. And then went to go put hands on him. So.
And you definitely don't give the bitch the ball.
Yeah. No, he gave the ball to her. That's what I didn't understand. I was like, no, give that to your kid, homie. He deserves it, you know.
Because modern man has been cucked so much that he's afraid he's going to be looking bad, and he knows people are filming it, and he doesn't know. He doesn't know how the internet's going to react because they might be like, oh, look at this misogynist male.
No. The whole internet was on that dude's side for his kid.
But in the moment, you never know.
Yeah. So...
he thought, let's just end this shit and give her the ball. But that's exactly the fucking problem. Stop giving
that's
the
the problem. He should have gave it to his kid. If she went over there a second time to his kid and she laid a hand on his kid, he had legal right to knock that bitch out. I would have laid her on her fucking ass. Fucking...
Don't touch kids.
Yeah. Don't touch my kids. Don't touch kids. You know,
I find it sad that Mort and I are both, in wheelchairs and our legs don't work.
Yeah.
Yet we have more fucking balls than some of these.
Dude, you guys do. Sam and Morpheus, I've always said that about you two. You guys have more fucking balls than guys that are standing up most times.
Well, and even more fun than that. And since I swore off jokes tonight, but I do have one. Is also like they have more spine.
Yeah.
Which is ironic.
It's ironic. Yeah. It's a spine thing. Yeah. Yeah. And did you see what Kay said right there? The team ended up getting a ball and the player signed it for him.
Oh, they rolled out carpet for the kid.
It's a kid, man. And I'm just like
I've seen this entitled bullshit behavior firsthand at wrestling events back in the day.
Oh, dude, you still see it.
Me and my boy would go, he'd be in his uniform because they give free, I don't know if people know this, WWE gives free tickets if you got a military ID.
Yep.
It's shitty tickets, but it's free tickets.
Yeah,
And usually
sometimes
they would
it's up
just
in
give
the
him an extra
rafters.
one for me because he would make a big stink about it. But anyway, the box office would be like, we don't want to give free tickets. And it's like, yeah, WWE does that. They'll comp us. And then they go look it up and they end up giving us 2 free tickets instead of 1. But point being, we would wait outside where the wrestlers would come in because they'll come up to the gate in Boston at the Garden and they would come out and shake people's hands. But there's little kids. Well, obviously, I'm with a guy in fucking uniform. We're being on our best behavior. The little kids come fucking first.
Yeah, the kids come first, man.
But then here's some asshole with a sandwich board covered in merchandise goes up to try and get him to sign it. It was actually Christian. Was the guy that he was trying to bother to get him to sign a figure, and there was like 3 kids trying to come in and shake the guy's hand. So me and my fucking friend in uniform over there, because I'm huge and my boy's in an actual fucking ACUs, we just walk over and we just grab him by one arm and the other, and we fucking choop.
Yeah.
And the little kids are like, yay, they all go up. And fucking afterwards, Christian comes up to us and he's like, yo, thank you guys so much. This is all about the
Christian is such a nice dude.
Yeah,
and he loves our military. He loves helping out the little kids. Dude, because I've got to hang with him before.
And it combined both those things. So check this out. He went and found Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
And Hacksaw hung out with us for like 2 hours after that.
Dude, Hacksaw is one of the most hilarious motherfuckers out there. Yeah, dude, because I've gotten to hang out. Dude, I've got to hang out with Taker. I've got to hang out with Stone Cold. Rock is a piece of shit. Don't ever just fucking do that. He Rock's a piece of shit. Fucking Triple H was cool as fuck. Sean is fucking cool as fuck. Like, you know, there's a lot. Kane is fucking cool as fuck. You know. Yeah, I'm gonna say this. R.I.P. Our brother in the sky. Hogan was fucking awesome to hang out with. Okay.
Well, yeah. I'm a Hulkamania. I did a rant like what was it 2 years ago, Sam, about Hulkamania. I'm a Hulkamaniac, you know, and that's for life. Yeah, it's so sad he passed this year.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man, shit. We've lost a lot of good ones.
Yeah, and I've lost actually. I've lost within this year. I've lost 2 really good friends, Tony Todd and James Earl Jones. I've known James Earl Jones since I was a kid. I've known Tony Todd since maybe 10 years, maybe 5 to 10 years. Because I met him at a convention and I was hanging with James Earl Jones at a convention and he goes, "Do you know him?" And I was like, oh God, Tony Todd's coming up with James. And James always had a smile on his face. He always made jokes. He's like, "Yeah, I've known him since he was a kid." I was like, dude, I got Vader in Candyman right in front of me, man.
Yeah, that's a wild combo if I've ever heard.
Yeah, and then he goes, "How long have you?" He goes, "James, how long you?" I was like, "Since he was a kid," because his mom and dad used to do security work for us at the creation cons. Now, if anybody knows what creation cons are, that was the old school conventions back in the day. Okay? That the Star Trek crew, he goes, how I met him is through, they were doing the security for the OG Star Trek crew. Okay? And then I was there at the convention and they were doing, you know, security work for me. And so they dropped him off with the Star Trek cast, or Michelle would be the sweetest pie, you know, whenever she was there, and then Jimmy would be just busting jokes, and then he's like, and then the time that James come over there, and I was like, oh my God, the streams are crossing. It's Star Trek, Star Wars, like, you know. But yeah, so.
Yeah, so Hacksaw was cool, but the point was that they were really hyped that we
put
kids first, right? And that's like the mentality you should have at any sports game. I don't know about you. I used to go to some. It's actually sad they're closing down. Not the Fenway where the Red Sox play, but actually the Pawtucket Red Sox. I used to go see them all the time.
Yeah.
When I was in like high school and shit at McCoy Stadium, which is sort of a legendary AAA ballpark. And
Kind of like some of our AAA ballparks out here are legendary in spring training and stuff. So yeah.
yeah, right. Like AAA. I mean, the AAA ball is where the pros end up starting usually. So,
Yeah, it's true.
and so obviously, if a fucking home run or foul ball or whatever section you're in comes, and there's kids trying to get it, why wouldn't I let a kid have it?
Yeah,
because I'm a greedy fuck.
That's what I used to do when I was younger. That's what I met Reggie Jackson out at the stadium, or I think it's either the Braves or something. That's out here in Arizona. So they have some of the AAA teams there that play during that time, and then when spring training comes out here, all the teams come out here. That's where I met Reggie Jackson, and my grandfather got me to meet Reggie Jackson back in the day.
Usually really cool about when they come out for training, talking to fans, signing autographs. If you wait at the right places and stuff, it's a great way for a kid to experience that.
Mark McGuire's kind of an asshole, though.
There's probably a lot of fucking asshole baseball. Think about it. Yeah. I bet you an abnormal number of baseball players have autism.
Oh yeah,
like there's no way they don't. Particularly pitchers. I bet you pitcher autism is really high.
Yeah, and
that checks out.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing. I was even a kid because when I was a kid, I would be in one section where they hit the balls to, but I would give it to the other kid. I was a kid giving balls to the other kids because whenever I was like, dude, I can get the whole team to sign my ball if I want to because I know people. So if the kids didn't have one, I would be that kid that goes, hey, you want this ball? Or I'd hand it to their dad. I was like, here, give this to your kid. And they're like, there is a kid giving out balls. And then they'd go sign. I was like, hey. He's like, can you give me? I was like, hey, if you want to come down, wherever, they can sign the ball for you. I was just,
It's meaningful to kids.
Yeah, it is, man.
That one moment they take to sign the kid's ball could set that kid on a fucking career path for the rest of his life, and he ends up the greatest player of all time, and that's happened.
Yeah.
So it's like, I another one is like when I played hockey, right? We only played local, like high school. I played high school hockey, right? But one thing is, you still throw pucks to the kids.
Yeah, you do.
They still like that shit.
Dude, I went to a bunch of the Coyotes games. They still did that out there. Before they sent the Coyotes over to fucking Utah, which pissed me the fuck off.
Well,
I was so pissed.
I'm here in Massachusetts, so we're a bit hockey heavy, right?
I know. I was so pissed because I waited for hockey to come out for like 25 years since I was a kid, 25, 30 years since I was a kid. And then we finally got hockey when I became a legal adult when I was 21. We got the Coyotes, and we had the Coyotes up until about 8 months to a year ago. And so during most of my adult life, we had hockey in the desert, and then these other motherfuckers didn't want to pay for it, so the sports... They even made a stadium. They made part of the stadium for the Coyotes, and then so... Because they wouldn't give them what the owner wanted, they bounced to Utah. And I was like, fuck.
Real quick, I just want to interject here. Big shout out to Mr. Medicare for basically tweeting out and exposing all these game devs who are cheering Charlie Kirk's death. And
I want to put this out.
And exposing them.
Smash has been out in a lot of people too. I know Smash JT. I got to hang out with him like this year at the Game On convention. Smash is out there out in people too.
Oh, well, on the one hand, I like that they're being exposed, but on the other hand, it's like I'm so fucking don't want to see anymore. Just tell me what games are affected,
Oh, do not fuck with Borderlands 4, bro.
Don't like I would. Like, Borderlands isn't the most fucking... Like, who even...
Did you hear the other night that it crashed on Conan's video? He did a video and it crashed on Conan's video, and
That's hilarious.
everybody started talking about it, and Conan even made a joke about it, and it's like, well, is your game really that good if it crashes? Like,
the only thing my wife knows about Borderlands is how much I say it sucks.
Oh, it did. Well, see,
I'm referring to Borderlands 2 specifically. Like, I hate that fucking game, and I don't know why they got more than that.
Well, see, that's where they fucked up. Here's on me. 1, 2, in the Tales from the Borderlands, and was it the other one? There was only like 3 or 4 of them that are decent. When 3 came around, that's when they fucked everything up.
See, that's where I differ from a lot of people. I don't think there was a decent one at all. I think everybody suffers from this "it's better with friends" syndrome, and that just
I played it all by myself. Yeah, so I didn't.
Oh man, it's the grindiest shit I've ever done. And
it is.
Writing is trash.
Yeah.
You know, it's like millennial also random humor gets real old.
Yeah.
Well, it got, especially in 3, where they were throwing a joke out every 2 seconds, and Kay wanted to play it. I was like, oh god, do we have to play through this fucking game again? She just wanted to see it. We got halfway through it, and she was like, it's like, yeah, she didn't like it. But then, you know, they started that new TOS for the game, and I went through the TOS, and they said they have legal right to fuck with your saves and all this other shit. I raced that game right off my system. I took it right off and said, I'm not gonna play that shit ever again. You know, you know, and when GTA 6 comes out, be very careful because that's owned by the same company that owns Borderlands.
Yep.
So be careful about that shit because that TOS applies to GTA 6, and they're gonna like still air like not like they don't, but it's like they in the terms of service
already confirmed that it's going to have kernel level anti-cheat. That's confirmed.
Yeah, it's there's so much fucked up with that, and I'm like, I'm not gonna buy GTA 6. Fuck that.
You know, actually, here's a fun little way to determine things for you. If a game won't run on Linux at all, it's often because it has a kernel level anti-cheat.
Yep. That is true.
One way to tell.
I am probably too fucking poor to play GTA
Bro, just
6.
get Game Pass and you can get whatever game you want to. So you know.
I know, but like I said, I'm not gonna spend $100. Like Moore and I were saying though, we both played Mafia: The Old Country, and I liked it.
Eventually.
There is one game that I play religiously, like since 2016, is No Man's Sky. That is one game that I've been playing basically for the last 9 years since 2016. It was terrible at the start, but then they were silent for about 1.5 years, came back, had an update. I'm like, hey guys, we're trying to fix the fucking game. Since then, every DLC and every update has been free for the last 9 years. That game is a shell of what it used to be.
That's what.
Well, that
that's
makes
how you make
it
it.
sound no, it's a shell of the crap it used to be because it's an awesome game, right?
Yeah. Well, it was a shitty game, I admit it.
Yeah.
It's a really good game now.
Yeah. Fun thing is, I just randomly decided to go back through Dungeons and Dragons Online, not Neverwinter, but Dungeons and Dragons Online, which is a 2007 MMO that I played back in the day. And man, is it the best Dungeons and Dragons MMO? Because
most of the older stuff is actually better than modern day shit we have now. So.
Oh yeah.
It's super fun because they just updated it with a 64-bit server, so it used to have a lag problem and it doesn't anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what they did to Old Republic too.
Yeah.
So I used to play the shit out of Old Republic.
I guess they did it to Lord of the Rings Online recently as well, but I haven't jumped back into that yet.
I had a buddy of mine one of our YouTube friends, Sam, that's been trying to get me to play that, but I won't. I was like, dude, I already went through all that whole game a couple times. I'm not gonna play it again.
Well, my
Yeah.
go back to MMO actually, if any, is become Warhammer Online, the private server, Return of Reckoning,
Mm-hmm.
because it's completely free and it's PvP, and you can basically jump into PvP at level 1 if you really want, but level 5 more, which takes about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it like scales, and it's a really like the server is always popping, so it's like 100v100 battles a lot of the time.
Yeah, what Kay said right there. She's been trying to get me to play Half-Life 2 again. I'm just like, I've been through that game so many times. There's certain games where I'm like, dude, I've been through that game so many times. It's just I don't want to go through it again.
I have the opposite problem with Half-Life Alyx. Is I think I got 3 hours in, and I'm like, every time it's too intense. Out of all the VR games, it's the only one I've quit on because it was too intense so far.
I heard somebody else quit because they said it was too intense too. So,
I mean, I got the Quest, so I'm streaming it from my computer. So I mean, it's not like the graphics sometimes get a little fuzzy, but
yeah,
for the most part, it's really, really fucking graphically good. And then when you get, it's the fucking head crab zombies. And I know if you played Half-Life 2, that sounds like they're the wussiest enemy in the world. But like, you gotta load the fucking gun. You get like, they're coming from all directions at me, and I was just like, okay, I need to sit down.
Yeah,
So-
well, like,
Too much Half-Life for one day.
yeah. Well, now, like, and I'm not gonna. I don't want to discount Charlie because we went off into video games and stuff. But yeah,
no, it was it. Believe me, it's a nice change of pace after
yeah.
like I would say I was gonna grab a beer in honor of Charlie, but he didn't drink either. So
Yeah. Well, Sam, I gotta go because me and Kay were still gonna do something, and all hell broke loose today. But I wanted to come over here. And I wanted to come over here and hang out with you guys for a little bit. So
no, I appreciate it, man. Glad you were able to come on. So
yeah,
I wish it were under better circumstances, man.
yeah. I know.
So
Oh, and by the way, I am trying to get maybe the Roadhouse going again. So I'll give you info.
Oh, and Jed, you've got an open invitation to Bits and Bones anytime.
Okay, that'd be awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So we should get the Roadhouse. I've got books to promote.
I know,
Obviously not
dude, and
tonight,
we'll do that.
but
Dude, here's my thing. If you want to promote your book, come on to the Archivist in the daytime if you can make it up.
yeah, absolutely. Just
Wait, actually, I don't think tomorrow, but I think next week would be good, where you can come over and promote your book, and we can just talk about all the pop culture shit. Okay? Because I already have.
Sounds good.
And you'll see Joe over there. We have a bunch of people over there now, and I just added somebody else to the thing. I added Troy. I don't know if you know Troy. Troy is now a part of the Archivist on Thursdays now too. And tomorrow we're gonna have Jonas there tomorrow too. So I don't know if you want to come by tomorrow, man. You can. I'll give you a link, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Wait, are you in the Archivist server or chat thing? Did I add you in there?
for Discord, I am, but
No, not in Discord, on X. So that's where I'd leave a bunch of messages on.
I think so, but like with the whole Charlie Kirk thing, like I've just been getting bombarded with
Yeah, you're not in
DMs.
there, but I'll add you in there. But yeah, if you need to mute it, I'll just still get it. I'll get a hold of you and stuff. So
Yeah, no, I'll keep it. I'll keep that one open. There were just a few other group chats where people were spurging out tonight. So
yeah, they aren't. like in okay, so they did say a few things, but it was Joe that said so, and Joe doesn't go
Well,
overboard.
yeah, Joe's good. I'm not worried about.
Yeah, that's for the thing with Joe, and I was like, Joe, so I'm like, okay, it's he is not gonna. All right, I'll add you in there right now. Just a second.
Joe's awesome. And like I said, Joe kind of did the reasonable thing and said,
Yeah, there, I just added you in there. Okay.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Thanks,
No
brother.
problem, brother.
So,
well, I hope you gentlemen have a good night.
well,
You as well.
God bless, God bless Charlie, God bless his children and his wife, and God bless America.
yeah.
So,
Amen.
I'll see you guys later. Thank you for letting me come over, guys.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for coming on.
Okay, man. Bye, guys.
Later, Ben.
Well, that was good to have Jed on. We may have a friend from one of the old Penn State Turning Point chapters coming on, but I threw out the link, but I don't know if he'll be coming on or not.
But you mentioned it, have a book to promote.
Show.
Well,
book.
shoot.
Show, book.
A book.
I've got
Book.
3 actually. First book I have is one I haven't promoted too much, but it's The Western Tales, Volume 1 from Veritas Entertainment, which is not my publishing, but it's one of the publishers that I've published with, and I'm hoping to publish a few more books with them. So check this out. It's pocket-sized and a bunch of other short stories by some notable authors in there as well. Next up, we have the smash blockbuster hit for this year, Night of the Vigilante.
Wait. Ladies.
I can tell you what, Jason Miller wouldn't be putting up with any of this.
Yeah.
So
It's Jason Miller the ladies are all after, not Sam.
well, how much of me. Well, I'll tell you who else the ladies would go out after is Mr. John Ryder, Sins of the Assassin, Book 4. On sale now. Also on a slight discount now, too. You can pick up the paperback for $12.99 now.
Damn, son! You mean all that for $12.99 with the glossy finish and all?
Yep. And look, I thought it was a deal. I thought it was a deal at $15, but people were saying, Sam, the economy is tough right now. And I said, I could have been an asshole and said, you know what? Just buy the book anyway. I could have done that.
You could have raised the price.
But I was like,
said,
you know what?
All y'all, $25. But no,
I could have done that, and maybe I should have. But I'm generous.
Sam,
and
we're gonna go out of business with these prices. What are you doing?
Yeah. Ebook is still priced at $6.99.
$6.99, Sam. We're gonna lose everything.
Not if
We're gonna lose our shirts.
Not if everyone listening goes out and buys Sins of the Assassin on sale now.
Oh God.
I would say do it for
think
Troy.
about these prices, Sam.
Well, honestly, Shmuley doesn't know about the price changes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. That explains it.
But I'm sure once he sees all the royalty revenue that I'm making, he'll be like, "Yeah, that was a decent choice." Uh, so anyway, so yeah, go and buy
Available now. Amazon.
go and buy some of
Audible.
these. I will say I am working on book 5, which I don't want to reveal too much, but the subject of political violence has been on my mind a lot, like even before this, and so we covered tough
thing that we're keep seeing, you know.
Everyone keeps asking the question: does art imitate life, or does life imitate art? And no, this was a serious question I heard them ask on the Fake Untied podcast, and I side with Steve's take, which is that art imitates life more often than not, for better or for worse.
I think it's a case of all of the above, because, of course, art, if it doesn't imitate, it at least reflects the experience of the artist, right? And somebody can see in that reflection a piece of themselves and reflect it back. It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
And that can be taken to both the positive and negative final conclusions of whatever it is, you know? It's kind of like, the chicken or the egg. I don't know. Is art reflecting violence because there's so much violence, or is the violence caused by the art? I don't think you can determine one or the other. I think they're just linked.
Yeah.
You see, like, matter of fact, for the past 20 years, you've seen a gravitation away from edgy art towards safer corpo art. Now you're seeing it gravitate the opposite direction because people feel less safe. This ain't gonna make anyone feel safer, I'll tell you that.
No. Well, I mean, I feel like with incidents like this, right? Because there have been thrillers written about the Kennedy assassination for years now. Maybe. Shoot, I don't know. Maybe. I hope that someone can at least take something positive out of this. So
I pray for the kids to live in a world and grow up in a world where this is the state of things. I try and, my son doesn't know what happened, despite how upset it might have made us, because it's not something he should know.
That's probably honestly for the best at this point.
He might find out one day, but it won't be today when he's not prepared for it.
Yeah, when he's a little, he's a little young still for Charlie to really be an influence, but maybe when he's older, he'll hear of Charlie. I'm sure he will at some point.
Yeah.
So,
take care of each other is the only thing I could glean from any of this.
Agreed, Max.
yeah, and also, and also as cliche as this may sound, live your life to the fullest because you never know when the end is near.
Well, and the millions of lives he touched, he's never gonna be gone. Like Trump
Yeah,
said. But it's a big void left in a movement, in like a country. Just it's devastating blow, and it's hard to wrap my brain around people celebrating it. But I do think that those people should be talked to by law enforcement.
oh yeah.
I don't think that's a big ask, but will it happen? Probably not. At least catch the guy that fucking did this and show some measure of justice.
Yeah, no, that's the best we can hope for. So
Well, I don't think there's much else to say.
yeah,
Unless Mort, you got anything else?
No, I think you gents covered it for me.
yeah.
Well, a big shout out for Jed joining us, and that was pretty cool of him.
Shout out to everyone in chat, Kay, Roman,
Joe.
Texas, yeah, Joe, gentleman went by the name of Texas. I think one of Jed's listeners. So appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Appreciate everyone who tuned in on X and even Kick. So wish the circumstances were better, but we appreciate people coming out regardless. So
Take care of yourself, Don't get so wrapped up in it, you ruin yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So anyway, folks, I guess we'll be I guess we'll be back. This show will be back Monday. I don't really want to speak for any of the other shows. I guess it'll be TBD at this point.
TBD for Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So TBD for Friday, and then we've got. I mean, is it safe to say Sandwich Makers is TBD as well, or
At the moment, it's been for her today. She's trying to process it still.
Yeah, we all are. So, but anyway, thank you for tuning in, everyone. Prayers to Charlie Kirk's family, and hug your loved ones a little tighter, folks. That's all I can say.
Take care of yourself.
We'll see you on the next show, folks. So, God bless everyone.